What's up guys, welcome back to McLaren Media. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to edit a photo just using the masking tools in Adobe Lightroom. So yeah guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I turn this photo into this photo just using the masking tools in Adobe Lightroom. Now what I'm going to be doing is, like I said, just using the masking tools, not editing the actual photo using the main panel. And the reason I like to do this in my main photography is because you can isolate the subject from the background, and you can also use linear gradient to add some emphasis and some real pop to your subject. So I would advise doing that with your photography from now on. If you can just use the powerful Lightroom AI tools that it has these days, which makes your photography easier, your photography edit is easier, then why not? So first of all, let's get into Lightroom. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing to a photo that I took using just the masking tools. So guys, we're in Lightroom, and this is a photo I took of my 350Z the other weekend on a drive out. It's a really nice photo, it's really well compositioned. It's just a nice all-round photo, if I do say so myself. It was taken on my new lens, like I keep saying, my 17-35mm lens. This lens is really nice. You can see it's very sharp. This isn't on a tripod. This is purely me holding. Very sharp lens. A lot of color details in there. If you must know, I shoot in Adobe Creative Raw, so all my files are Creative Raw files. That just allows you to edit further. So that's another tip I give you. Shoot in Raw if your camera allows it, or if you're not a Canon user like me, whichever one your camera allows you to shoot in. So first of all, what we're going to do, when I say about the masking tool only, we're going to come to this panel on the right. We're going to go down to this weird bevelly circly icon, and that says masking. Or you can press M on your keyboard for the shortcut, but I don't bother with shortcuts. I find rolling over to it and going to it is just as quick. So go into masking. Now, let me break down what you get in here. You have subject. This will do its best to isolate just the subject, so the 350Z in this example. You then have the sky. That will do its best to isolate, obviously, the sky, whichever way it can do it. I find it does do well through trees as well. You then have background. Now, I find that's a little bit misleading because you think that could also include the sky, and sometimes it does, but that's going to try and find everything around the 350Z. The tarmac here, the back building there with the chimney stacks, this green building on the side. It will try its best to isolate them. We then have other things. Now, I don't use the object selection tool because that allows you to select an object, but I find just using the subject tool, because I usually only shoot one subject, that is fine. You then have the brush where you can paint on certain things. Linear gradient and radial gradient are two things I use quite often, because that is where I pull some of my darkness. If you've watched my previous videos or seen my photography, you'll know that I like to pull gradient from the bottom, gradient from the top. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with subject. Now, this is going to try its best to analyse the photo for the subject. It's doing it, and it has. Now, annoyingly, it has taken a little bit of this building in, but I'm not too fussed about that because I'm not going to edit the 350Z too much. Just going to do a little bit by eye editing. This is all, again, this is all based on your personal preference, whether you want certain things in the vehicle. I'm just going to sort of get the stuff popping, get the blacks down a little bit like that. Come down. Not going to play too much with the colour. I'm going to add a little bit of blue in there, tiny bit, but not a horrendous amount. I'm going to bump up the clarity. Fine clarity works quite well with cars. Yes, you can see already there, it makes it a hell of a lot more shiny. And I'm just going to up the sharpness just a tad on the vehicle. But that is pretty much what I'm going to do for the subject. There's nothing else I'm going to really do there. So now you're going to come up to this big blue icon at the top, this big blue plus icon, and we're now going to edit just the background. It will do its best to analyse the background. See, again, like I said, it has taken the sky into consideration. I would advise doing the background, then the sky, because I find if you do the sky first, then the background, there's a chance it could find the sky as well. So just do the background first. And I'm not going to do a horrendous amount of editing. I'm just going to pull the exposure down. See, already that pops the car. Contrast in, a little bit of highlights out. Not too bad. it's all personal preference here. So obviously I'm going to add a bit more blue in, just because obviously that's the way the car, the way the photo is taken. It's a gloomy day, as you can see, so I'm adding a bit more blue in. Clarity, tiny bits, and then the texture, I'm just going to pull a little bit out, just because this blurriness at the bottom here, which is quite nice. And that's probably all I'm going to do for that slider too. Now I'll go back up to the blue icon, sky. Again, it will do its best to find the sky, which it's, when it wants to. My MacBook is really slow, which it has done. I'm now going to pull some of the exposure, tiny bit of the exposure out, a little bit of the contrast. Pull the highlights all the way out with skies, I find, because it helps define the clouds a bit more. Obviously you don't want to go like too far, obviously it starts dark on the cloud, but you find the more highlight you bring out, the more, obviously if you go too far it looks overexposed. Pull it right down a little bit until you sort of find a happy medium. Then again, a little bit of blue, a little bit of extra blue into the sky. Find like texture on clouds is a weird one. If you go too soft with the texture, they look really sort of fake. So I'm going to go sort of halfway, just sort of adds a bit of the blurriness into the clouds. That is pretty much there with the masking for just the subjects. So now, like I do in a lot of my videos, I'm going to show you what a linear gradient will do. Do you know what? Actually, scratch that. I'm going to show you what a radial gradient will do first, because that I'm not going to use that. So the radial gradient, if you click and drag out, you'll notice that it draws a circle around whatever you're sort of looking at. And what you then find is it will just darken what's ever in that circle. Now, I'll just press Command Z just to delete that. If you press invert at the top, it will then do around the outside. Now, this is quite helpful sometimes if you really want to sort of pull some of the focus onto your subject. See how I can pull the exposure down there, it just like keeps the 350Z lit up. This works well with like street light photography or nighttime photography, because you can really emphasize the subject. I'm not going to use radial gradient, but that is how you use it. So if you want to delete one of your masks, you just press the minus icon. No, sorry, scratch that. You just simply press backspace. I'm going to use linear gradient. With the linear gradient, you're going to click and drag from the bottom all the way up to pretty much, I'd say, halfway up your subject. You can then, in the light panel, pull the exposure out. And what I find this does is add this darkness to the bottom of the screen. It really helps the eye lead up into the 350, the subject, which I quite like doing in a lot of my photos. I'm then going to create another linear gradient, but come from the top. But I'm not going to come directly down. I'm going to come a little bit from the left side in. The reason for that is that's where mostly my light source is coming from. As you can see, the glare is on the side of the 350Z, around here, around the back window and the quarter panel. That's because the sunlight, or what was left of the sunlight on this day, was coming from that side. So I'm going to actually lighten just that side, sort of help the contrast of it come in, pull some of the highlights down a bit, and just allow a little bit more white in there, possibly even a little bit of clarity. Maybe potentially could add a bit of dehaze up there, and that starts to make that sky look really gloomy, but also we've got quite a bit of white coming in. And that is, guys, that photo edited just using the masking tools. And as you can see, I think that's gone really well. If you come down here to click this icon here, show the original, which looks really horrible compared to what we've just edited, I think that looks very cool. Now again, like all my videos, there is endless amounts of stuff you could do to this video. You could spend time cleaning up these dots on the floor. You could remove this security camera. You could go around and move all these in the background, but I'm not going to do this in the video because this was just working how to use the masking tools. So guys, that brings me to the end of this Lightroom tutorial. I hope you found it informative. I hope you can use it in your own photography. Everything I say, I'm a professional photographer by trade. Everything I do has been learned over the years. If there is anything you would like me to touch on, then tell me and I can make videos of it. Obviously take everything I say with a pinch of salt, because I find photography with any art form, it is expressive of what you want. What I think is a good photo may not be what you think is a good photo. What you think is a good photo, I may not think is a good photo. That's what it is. But that brings me to the end of this video, guys. I have turned this photo into this photo just using the masking tools in Adobe Lightroom, and I think it looks wicked. If you've enjoyed the video, guys, don't forget to leave me a comment. If you've liked the video, like it, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, because obviously we are almost at 3,000 subscribers now, and I would love to hit that number this year at some point. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, that'd be great. And as always, guys, I will see you in my next video. Keep enjoying your rusty, crusty, modified cars that you take endless amounts of photos of, edit them, and put them all over the internet for everyone to enjoy with you. Take care, and I will see you in my next video.